Hello everybody and welcome back to Final Fantasy the Crystal Chronicles. We are now in year 4 and we're going to get started by going into worlds we've already been to and completing some more cycles of those places, starting with Goblin Wall. So let's go ahead and get started. I've decided I'm only going to be doing 2 cycles of Goblin Wall because 2 cycles is really all that's necessary to show. So this will be our final time in Goblin Wall, thank God. So I will go ahead and pop the bios in, and then we will get started. Alright, so again, a few more goblins you can take out with fire. I recommend having Holy in this area because you'll run into ghosts. There's not a large amount of them, but enough to be annoying, and they do get in the way. So I do recommend having Holy. There should be a goblin over here that drops a life stone. It's the only one I found in this stage when I did my practice run, so I do recommend really defeating enemies, at least until you get a life stone. Go away, bat. Jesus. Leave me alone. Let's go ahead and this is a great start to this video. This one here should drop a life stone, and if not, I'm gonna be mad. There we go. Thank you. And let's go ahead and fuse these, and we now have Holy. So awesome. We have a really good looking command, some really good command slots. So awesome. Right again here, I want to remind everybody, if you didn't watch the first video, this is a shortcut. I'm not going to be using that right now. We will come back and use it later though. There's only one new area that's opened up in Goblin Wall, and that was where the rocks used to be. So I'll be able to show that area off to you guys. It's only going to lead to like one chest, but I'm only coming here twice, so I might as well show it off while I'm here. But other than that, Goblin Wall hasn't changed a whole lot. If you've been really keeping up with your weapon upgrading like I have been, you can see a lot of these enemies are being defeated very easily. I'm not really having any problem so far. This place should be a piece of cake for you. I wasn't too pleased with the drops I was getting in this world, mostly because I couldn't use them. But later on in the game, the drops are kind of a bit more universal. Like, you might get a lot of equipment, but like 2 out of 5 or something, you know, might be for you and the other 3 might not be. So you can start being kind of picky and choosy with your drops, because a lot of the stuff you won't be able to use, or you could easily obtain it somewhere else or something. So I won't be saving just because it's not really necessary, but I'll show off the drops anyways. Again, with the bats, if you want, you can show off, or not show off, you can use gravity on them, excuse me. You can use gravity on the bats to bring them down to life if you choose. I'm just going to attack them normally. I don't really find it that necessary. They're more annoying than anything else. The Cerberus here is definitely a heavy hitter. Be very careful around him. That's why I used focus attacks and stayed my distance, because he's really ugly. Fortunately, that was the only one in this area. I don't really know why they only put 1 in, but that's the only Cerberus in this area. I think come cycle 3, if you do 3 cycles of this place, he would probably show up a lot more, but I'm not too worried about that right now. Let's go ahead and defeat these guys. As much as I would like to avoid a lot of these enemies, there's a few of them that I really can't ignore. And if I do ignore them, then they'll just keep chasing me. But I've been learning my lesson just in other videos that if you defeat all the enemies, it really does take up a lot of your time, and that's why I've been having, you know, 20-25 minute videos, which I really don't deliberately mean to do. I'm just destroying a bunch of stuff because, like I said, I'm not going to be saving anyways, and my bag is getting very full. So I decided to do that now, just so that I don't have to keep going to my item screen, which will probably save me some time. So, alright, Victorious Weapon, that's actually good, and we're able to use that if we want to. We're almost done getting the treasures for the left-hand side here, so we're about 1/3 of the way done, I suppose, which isn't too bad in about 6 minutes. Or almost, not even 6 minutes, about 5 minutes. So hopefully we can get this place done in 15 minutes or so. Trying to speed run this but be as informative as possible, but again, that's why the first cycle videos are there. Those are the ones that are very informative, very thorough, and these ones are just for people wanting to see changes or you know, things like that. So that door opens up the area we need to go to, so you want to make sure to open that door. There we go. Iron. Now this chest is the one that we'll be getting, that we couldn't get last year, but that's the only chest, so we'll just keep that in mind. We'll come back for that later. And this bat's annoying. I'm just gonna ignore him. Take care of that. That's another chest we can get later on by using another shortcut. So those 2 chests there that we just saw we'll be coming back for. Go ahead and cure myself, because I'm really getting my ass handed to me. But I do have Phoenix down in my command slot, so I would be saved if I got hurt, but... Alright, and there's our first ghost. These ghosts are annoying because, first of all, they're invisible, so you need to make them visible by casting Holy, and if you don't have Holy, then this area really sucks. Secondly, they cast Blizzard. You can just saw he just casted Blizzard. It'll freeze you, it will do damage, and it's just overall very annoying, especially if you're in a large mob, because other enemies will attack you while you're frozen, so do watch out and do keep that in mind. More electric jellyfish. Again, if you don't have a thunder badge, don't directly... Ow. As you can see there, I just died because, like I said, he froze me and then they attacked me. So that's a perfect example of what I was just talking about. But again, I'm touching the electric jellyfish because I have that ring on me that allows me to not be stunned by enemies that use thunder and paralysis. So I cannot talk today, apparently. This is great. Die already! My God, I hate you. Thank you. These ghosts are a pain. They're not as dangerous and they don't take up as much HP as the wraths do that we ran into in Damon's Court, but they're still equally as annoying and you do have to be careful. I was in practice and I was trying to count how many times I had to hit those stupid things before they kind of keeled over and died, and it took forever without Holy, so it's very inconvenient. And that's it. There we go. I'm gonna ignore those guys for the sake of time. They were there in the first cycle, not much to be said about them. Get some money. Pass on through here, and we are now almost actually to our boss, which is kind of nice. It's kind of crazy that that goblin is all the way up there, but yet he can still cast spells at me from, you know, cast spells at me and it like hits me down here. It's kind of annoying because like most enemies don't do that. Or no, wait, that's the jellyfish. I was gonna say, how bizarre is that? But it looks like it's a jellyfish doing that, which makes sense. Enemies like this I just choose to take care of, just because they get in my way otherwise. Like the ghosts, for example, I mean, most of the time you can like ignore them, draw them out, and then hit them once and they die. But because it takes so long to kill these guys, I'd rather just kill them, get them out of my way, and not have them be a gigantic nuisance, so... They drop diamond ore, which is really nice. I don't really know what it's used for. I haven't really come across it being used a whole lot yet, but I'm sure it'll come in some use. It seems kind of rare because I haven't ran into it yet, which is kind of cool. Again, we're not going to go south just yet, because that southern area is going to lead us to a shortcut that will lead us back to the very beginning of the dungeon, which will allow us to get a chest I talked about earlier. That's not necessary for us to grab right now, though. We're going to do that as the very last thing in this place. So just keep that in mind. We'll be going back there later, but just not at this particular moment. Go ahead and start taking care of these guys. Again, I'm going to get bum rushed at all these guys, which is extremely annoying. again, it's completely up to you what you'd like to do. You can lure them out, or whatever you want to do. The Flan is probably the weakest and least annoying enemy, so you can take care of him first if you'd like. As you can see here, I'm, again, just being utterly annoyed by all these enemies. When you're frozen or paralyzed or anything like that, you also cannot go to your main menu to use food or anything, so that's another reason I suggest having a Phoenix down in your command slot. If you get frozen and you have like a heart or something, and you get hit, you're gonna die because you're not gonna be able to go to your main menu to use food, so again, just another small thing to keep in mind. Ghost! Die! Thank you. Annoying. Almost done here, guys. Bear with me. We're getting close to the end. Really, if you are, it's really funny because I mean, if you're really just going through this area very quickly, these stages don't seem as long, but at the same time, I'm trying to commentate and do my best to play, so it takes forever. I'm trying not to die and like all that stuff. But just take them out one by one. Really, it's really the only recommendation I have, which is pretty much my recommendation for like every stage, really. But yeah, there's not really anything new. I wasn't too excited to go to Goblin Wall because there's just nothing exciting about it, in my opinion. And luckily, we only have to do 2 stages of this place. It's kind of like United Catholics, where it was like, well, there's not really that much to show. It's not that exciting, but I still had to show it. And it's not like I mind. It's not like this place is so unbearably, terribly awful, and I just hate coming here, kind of thing. Let's go ahead and drop that in, and for the meantime, we're going to ignore that. We're not going to go in there right now. Go ahead and defeat the enemies. We're pretty much near the end. As soon as we grab this one treasure chest on the right-hand side here, we can actually go ahead and grab the last 2 that we have to go back for using those shortcuts, and then we will be done. So hopefully this is a video that's not going to take us 20 minutes, which has kind of been a pattern as of late. A lot of the videos I've been posting have been 20, 25 minutes, but, you know, I just kind of like to mix it up a little bit. I mean, I have some short ones in there, I got some long ones kind of thing. There we go. This off. I really hate the goblin spears. They are so annoying because not only do they, what happens with the goblin spears is they tend to kind of have like a really far reach because they hit you when you're in front, and they also hit you when you're in the back of them, which is extremely annoying. But then they also kind of stun you, which is just adds to the annoyance factor. This switch here will allow us to use that shortcut that we couldn't use in our first cycle because it was blocked by rocks. So now we can pretty much just relax, take our time, and get those last few treasure chests we need to get, along with these ones down here, which we can get now that we've hit all of our little switches. So, and again, no need to go back to the Moogle home or anything because I was already here in the first cycle. So we pretty much almost have everything covered here in Goblin Wall. Thank you. Of course, Mog's getting tired. What's this one? Lightning gloves. Gloves are for Lilty, so I won't be able to use that. Master's weapon is what I already have, so that's not worth keeping, although I can use it. Iron armor is I think that's worse than what we have right now. Either that or it's the same, so that's useless. Salads are for Ukes. Again, that's something I cannot use, which is a bummer. As you can see, I'm getting lots of equipment, but like I said, you know, like a lot of it I'm not going to be able to use, so. And I think we got all the treasure that was down here. This one here. It's our artifact. And there we go. Alright. I'll carry the chalice for a bit. The path that we opened up that was not available in our first year is over here. It's actually just like to the most right part of this area, just below where the boss is. And there's going to be enemies here, which I'm going to skip past if I can move fast enough. There we go. So you can see here we have a little walkway. And this will bring us back to the first screen that we were on. And all we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit this switch, which is going to open up the gate for us to get that treasure chest. And I mentioned as we were going into the screen we're going into now, from that other exit we first came into, I said we're going to go back for that chest, and that is the one we're going to go back for as we now used the shortcut. So let's go ahead and just exit like we would normally. Go get that chest, and we're actually making some pretty good time. We should be out of here soon. Once you've cleared all the enemies out of here, it's kind of nice because there's just nothing in your way. You can just really make some good progress. So here's the chest that we just got the gate open for. And then of course, anticlimactic, I can't even see what we're getting. Let's get rid of the wisdom tomb because that's for Ukes. And I just dropped it instead of destroying it. Let's see. Master's weapon. Again, we have the Master's weapon, so that's not worth using either. Although the game is giving you a lot of opportunity to upgrade your equipment, which is really nice. If you haven't already done so, or you haven't had the materials or anything, or the bag space or something. So. And now we're gonna go this way and go south this time instead of going north to get to the boss again, like I mentioned earlier. And this will take us to the other shortcut that we used in Cycle 1. It will allow us to get back to the very, very start of the dungeon, and this is also where that element changer is. Just gonna ignore those goblins. And as you can see, we are back at the start where we started. So the chest that we're gonna get is right over here on the right-hand side. Again, I won't be able to grab that, so let's see, let's get rid of the Master's weapon and pick this up. And mithril gloves. Gloves, again, are for little T's, and I cannot use them. Alright, so hopefully my commentary was not too scatterbrained. I feel like it is every single time I try to do a second cycle because I'm not much of a speedrun person. But again, like I've said, if you want more direction on this place and you're a little bit lost, look at the first cycle for the stage and you'll be able to understand a little bit better. We've gotten every single artifact, every single chest, and we've pretty much picked up everything that we possibly can in Goblin Wall. So I'm going to end the video off here, and we will be fighting the boss of Goblin Wall for a second time in the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all then.